All right, so if you live in or around Dallas, Georgia, and you're on the hunt for a great dog trainer, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to walk through everything you need to know to find the perfect fit for you and your dog.
You know that picture perfect moment? Maybe it's a nice, calm walk along the Silver Comet Trail, or just relaxing with your pup downtown without any stress. That's the goal, right? Well, good training is what makes that a reality. And honestly, it makes life so much more enjoyable for both of you.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about what training looks like for life right here in Dallas. Then, we'll get into the different kinds of training options out there. After that, we'll cover how to pick the right person for the job, what questions you absolutely have to ask, some great local spots to practice, and finally, what to realistically expect when it comes to cost and time. Okay, first up, training for your Dallas life. This is all about focusing on the skills your dog actually needs to handle our community day to day. Think about it. Life here in Dallas has its own unique situations, doesn't it? You've got busy festival days downtown, you're strolling past all the shops on Main Street, even a quiet neighborhood walk can have plenty of distractions. And you definitely need your dog to stay focused when you're near a school zone. The goal is to have a dog who can handle all of that, and maybe even happily tag along to the Dallas Farmers Market without a fuss. So, with those local challenges in mind, what are your options? This next part is all about figuring out what your dog really needs and matching it to the right kind of program. Generally, you've got a few main formats to choose from. In-home private lessons are fantastic for issues that happen, well, right in your home, like going wild when the doorbell rings. Group classes are great for practicing focus with the distraction of other dogs around. Day training is a solid option if you're short on time. It's kind of like doggy daycare with a lesson plan. And then there's board and train, which is a very intensive, immersive experience. And what are you actually hoping to accomplish? Maybe it's the puppy essentials like socialization and potty training. Or it could be working on basic obedience, sit, stay, and a reliable recall. Then there are those common frustrations, right? The leash pulling, the jumping on guests. Or maybe it's something a little heavier, like separation anxiety or a dog that's fearful or reactive. Each one of these goals needs its own specific approach. All right, once you know your goals, it's time to choose the right trainer. And the most important thing here is to find someone who uses methods that are both humane and, actually effective. Let's talk about positive reinforcement. This is really the gold standard in training today. The idea is simple. You reward the behavior you want to see more of. That reward could be a treat, some praise, or their favorite toy. It basically turns learning into a fun game instead of a chore. And even better, it builds a really strong, trusting relationship between you and your dog. And the difference between this and older, harsher methods is night and day. Reward-based training builds your dog's confidence and helps create changes that actually stick. On the other hand, methods that rely on fear or pain can totally backfire, often creating brand new problems like anxiety or even aggression. So for the safety of everyone, you, your dog, and your neighbors, the positive approach is always the way to go. Now, here's a fun fact. Georgia doesn't actually require dog trainers to be licensed. That means it's really up to us to look for signs of a true professional. Seeing a string of letters after a trainer's name, like CPDTK or KPA-CTP, is a very good sign. It shows they're committed to their education in modern methods. And if you're dealing with more serious issues, like severe anxiety, seeing an advanced certification, like CBCCKA, means they have specialized expertise in that area. Okay, on to Section 4. Let's get really practical with a checklist of the key questions you should be asking any trainer you're considering. Think of this as your interview guide. First, ask about their methods and credentials. Make sure it aligns with the positive approach we just talked about. Next, give them all the details about your dog and your specific life here in Dallas so they can create a plan that fits you. You also want to ask, how will we know it's working? Clarify how they measure progress. Definitely get all the costs and policies up front so there are no surprises. And a fantastic final question is, what's my homework? Because your involvement between sessions is what makes it all work. Now let's bring it back home. Part 5 is all about training in and around Dallas, the local rules and resources you need to know. First things first, you gotta know the local leash law. It's pretty simple. In the city of Dallas and all of Paulding County, your dog must be on a standard 6-foot leash in any public space. That means parks, sidewalks, everywhere, unless you're in a specifically designated off-leash area. It's just a basic rule that keeps your dog and everybody else safe. And we have some really great spots around here to practice all those new skills. The dog park at Nathan Dean Park is perfect for working on their recall or come command in a safe, fenced-in spot. The Silver Comet Trail is excellent for practicing that loose leash walking with real-world distractions like bikes and other walkers. And if you need some big open space to practice commands from a distance while still on leash, Sarah Babb Park is a great place for it.
All right, and for our final section, let's talk about the practical side of things, setting some realistic expectations for both the cost and the time involved.
Okay, let's talk numbers. This table should give you a pretty good ballpark for what things cost around here. A set of group classes that runs for 4 to 6 weeks will probably set you back somewhere in the 140 to 280 range. A single private lesson is usually between 100 and 175. Of course, these are just averages, but it helps you get an idea of what to budget for the different services. And what about the timeline? It is so important to be realistic here. If you just brought a new dog home, you might have heard of the 3-3-3 rule. 3 days to decompress, 3 weeks to learn your routine, and 3 months to really feel settled at home. It's a really helpful guideline. For basic obedience, if you practice every day, you can expect to see real progress in about 4 to 8 weeks. But listen, if you're working on more complex issues like deep-seated fear, you have to be patient. That can take several months of consistent, careful work. It really is a marathon, not a sprint.
Because when it's all said and done, this effort isn't just about getting your dog to sit or stay. It's about building a partnership. It's about being able to confidently share your life with your companion everywhere in Dallas, from your home to our community's beautiful parks and trails. It really opens up your whole world together. We hope this has been helpful, and we wish you the very best of luck on your training journey.